So this over here is the Toyota Fortuner Q. And I think of all the variants of the Toyota Fortuner, this one offers the best value for money. So this sells for 2 million pesos, which is not cheap, but it has most of the features of the LTD, and it sells for almost 500,000 pesos less. So in this video, we'll do a walk around, we'll check out the exterior, the interior, we'll talk about the features, we'll try to compare it to other PPVs in the same price bracket. Yeah, so is it worth our money? Let's find out. So unlike the LTD variant, the changes on the Q and the lower end models are a lot more subtle. So you get a redesigned bumper with more angular faux air vents and a faux skid plate. All the lights are LEDs. You get LED fog lamps, LED projector headlamps with LED DRLs. By the way, these are the turn signals and they're also LED DRLs. I love these eyebrows over here, but I think they would look better in black like on the LTD. So I've said in the past that this badge right here is an important feature of Toyota vehicles. In the case of the Toyota Fortuner Q, it actually is a feature because this houses a radar unit. The Toyota Fortuner Q now comes with Toyota Safety Sense. And you also get a camera here because it now comes with a 360 camera. We'll talk about those later. For now, let's take a look around the car. The Toyota Fortuner is the second shortest PPV in the market, next to the Mitsubishi Montero. So here are the dimensions. So the Q gets 18-inch wheels wrapped in 265 60 series tires, and it gets disc brakes on all four corners. So in terms of changes, it's pretty much the same as the pre-facelift Fortuner here at the side. You don't get a lot of sharp lines, you don't get a lot of angles. It's a very rounded looking SUV. So here at the back it gets LED taillights, and it also gets a power lift kit. So I think the thing that I don't like the most about the Fortuner is the way you stow the third row seats. As you can see, they don't fold flat to the floor like on most other PPVs. You hang them to the side. And aside from taking up space, it also involves a lot more effort to deploy or undeploy the seats. For example, if I'm carrying groceries and I have to pull down the seats, I'll need at least two hands. Like, I can't do this with one hand. I have to unhook this like that. Yeah. Out there. And if I have to stow this again with one hand, as you can see, it's not very easy. Oh, there we go. Oh, come on. Shit, okay, I can't do it. The Fortuner Q gets the same engine as the LTD. This is a 2.8 liter 1GD FTV engine. Produces 204 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque, which would make it the second most powerful engine in this segment. It's still coupled to the same 6-speed automatic transmission. The suspension is practically unchanged. It still gets a double wishbone setup at the front and a rigid axle with leaf springs at the back. The spring rate of the Fortuner has always been the stiffest in this segment. If you thought the old Fortuner was matagdag, it's going to be the same here. It gets hydraulic steering, which is pretty heavy compared to the Everest and the MU-X. But above parking lot speeds, it lightens up. Okay, so we're now inside the Toyota Fortuner Q. And yeah, you don't get the two-tone interior of the Fortuner LTD, but in terms of materials, they're pretty much similar. Like the LTD, you also get plenty of leather on the dashboard. This is leather wrapped. This right here is leather wrapped. This is leather wrapped and padded. The sidings are leather wrapped. This is hard plastic though. The steering wheel is also leather wrapped, and you get this faux wood accent at the top. You also get faux wood panels here. and everything is dampened. This is dampened right here. The glove boxes are dampened. It feels like a premium interior. Both front seats are power adjustable. The driver's seat has 8-way adjustment. You got a manual handbrake. You got 2 cup holders here. And you now get a much bigger 8-inch screen compared to the pre-facelift models. So you get Apple CarPlay, you get Android Auto, and you also now get a 360 camera, as you can see. So the resolution isn't the best in the market, but the Toyota Fortuner, the Terra, and the Montero GT are the only PPVs in the segment that come with a 360 camera. You get dual zone climate control, and you also get a wireless phone charger. Now in the segment, only the Toyota Fortuner and the Nissan Terra VL have a wireless phone charger. You can also select from different views, like this is your top-down view camera. You can also view the sides. So both the speedometer and the tachometer are analog, which I have no problems with. So by the way, this glove box over here also has a cooler, which is a feature that you also got on the pre-facelift Fortuner. So you can see there's an air vent over there. So in terms of features, the Toyota Fortuner Q is one of the most feature-packed in this price bracket. It has Toyota Safety Sense, which includes adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, forward collision mitigation, forward collision alert, blind spot warning, and yeah, you also get a 360 camera like I showed you earlier. So I think this is one of the most feature-packed PPVs that you can get at the price. I think this actually has more features than the top-of-the-line Terra. Okay, so we're now at the second row seat. Legroom is pretty good. So over here you get one 12-volt outlet and some storage. And underneath you get 2 USB ports. Your aircon vents are up here. And your aircon controls are over here. In terms of materials, this is hard plastic, this is leather. You get a center armrest with 2 cup holders. Okay, so I'm now sitting at the third row seat, and yeah, the seat is already quite reclined. Yeah, my head is actually brushing against the roof. Definitely not as spacious as the MU-X. I get more headroom on the Terra, but the Terra has a higher floor, so my leg position here is a bit more comfortable compared to the Terra. In terms of tech, the Fortuner Q is a bit ahead of the Terra VL 4x2. It has most of the tech of the Terra VL, plus it has adaptive cruise, and it has a power liftgate. The advantage of the Terra would be third row space. It has more headroom at the third row. The third row seats of the Terra also fold flat to the floor, and the suspension of the Terra is a lot softer. Compared to the MU-X LSE 4x2, the Fortuner gets a few more toys. It has a 360 camera, and it has a wireless charger, which the MU-X doesn't have. The advantage of the MU-X is that its third row is a lot more spacious than the Terra and the Fortuner. Like the Terra, its third row also folds flat to the floor. I also like the adaptive cruise of the MU-X LSE. It can be activated at any speed, even in stop-and-go traffic. I got to live with the MU-X LSE for a week, and I found the adaptive cruise to be extremely reliable. Toyota has such a loyal following in the Philippines that they don't need to match the competition in terms of features to sell. But the Toyota Fortuner Q doesn't just match the competition, it actually exceeds some of the competition in terms of features. So this is Toyota punching above its weight, even if it doesn't have to. I think at its price bracket of 2 million pesos, the Fortuner Q is one of the best PPVs that you can buy. It's a Toyota that you don't just buy because of the badge, not just because of its reputation for reliability. It also has a lot more that goes along with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.